Hello, everyone. Our good friends, welcome back. This is the Dragon's Tome. We are reading Dragon Magazine. You like that kind of stuff? You're here. You must. It's not for our good looks. Look at this.
Look at me, though. I am right there.
Um,
I'm right
all
there.
that white hair, gross.
Ugh.
Anyways, we are on. What number are we on, boys?
93.
93?
We just did
93.
92, so we're on 93.
Well, that was last week. It's been a week. Come on, everyone. So, what do you think about this here cover in a nice 1995,
95. 85.
95.
85?
I don't know. I'm up in the air with this one. I want to like it, but there's something about it that
Her
does not
face
make
is
me want to like it.
horrible. It's a Were-Tiger by Jeff Bush.
Yeah. The White Tiger itself looks cool, even though her face looks horrendous, but I'm assuming that's because she is mid transformation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But this tiger looks like they didn't use a dryer sheet when he was in the dryer.
oh, he's fluffy. Maybe it's humid that day.
Yeah, could use a little mousse.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cover. It's not the best we've seen in a long time.
No, but it's not horrible. I'm not going to say outright. It looked like that one,
We've seen some bad ones in the past, that's for sure.
the one plant one.
Jeff.
Now leave Mr. Crane alone. He's full of whimsy and full of he's got a twee sense of humor. This shall not stand.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Okay, well then let's just get on to the ads. It looks like this cover is not inspiring
Ads?
the conversation.
We're just skipping right to past the articles, right to ads, because you hate this cover so much,
That's,
Jeff. Jeez.
Let's who should we decide? Rob's full of piss and vinegar today. He's full of fire. He's a firebrand.
He's a firebrand. He's because he's changing into a were tiger.
Maybe that's it.
Wow.
Hmm. Save it for the erotic fan fiction.
The Dragon's
So
Bone.
yeah, Rob, what's your first article?
Let's go to page. I think it's 12.
Oh, that's one of mine.
Uh,
One of mine.
is it? Which part of it is it we're talking about here, Jack? It's the
Oh,
editorial by Gygax because it's hilarious. He just goes off on satanic panic types, and
Yeah.
some
Yep.
pressure must have been coming to him because he just goes off on people who
What's even worse that he gives you
he's like
a letter.
he's like right into these people. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
The land of liberty.
Yeah.
It's still the land of liberty. I feel like this is the same argument that we're today.
Wow. This is it's funny it's I guess the attacks must have been coming hot and heavy at this point because
yes.
he felt the need to defend it and to have like regular people to write in so that they could have.
When did we decide the guy disappeared in the sewers again? Was that this
Oh
time?
no, this was that was way
That happened. That happened
Couple years earlier.
that
Yeah.
happened.
So
in
this must
79.
is this the? Oh no, this must be
Mazes and
the.
Monsters. When did that come out?
No, it also must be including the time when Tipper Gore and all them were getting ready to start.
PRMRC.
Yeah, and they're starting to put band labels on records.
Yeah, it's one of these
Mazes
things.
Monsters already came out in '82, so it's all in the zeitgeist. So
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's sitting on a rental shelf right now, and parents are picking that up still. Like these things had
when was Judas Priest on the stand for being influencing? Was it 85?
when Rob Halford just thoroughly
no, it's
undressed them.
Twisted Sister. That's who it was. It was D. Snyder did it.
No,
Oh,
but
Dee Snider?
before, yeah, D. Standard did that, but there was a before all that went down. There was a Judas Priest one,
Oh, was
and
it?
that kid who killed himself or off someone else. I can't remember. It's a while ago. I have to go back and remember. But I think he was linked to. They linked it to Judas Priest music and playing D&D.
Oh yeah.
Well, Gary Gygax is lashing out, not lashing out. He's trumpeting the fact that it is foolish that they're being lumped in with the Satanic Panic.
I do agree with him though.
You get if you watch a documentary, there was serial killers on the loose. There was made up stuff about it was a mass hysteria
Well, yeah,
event.
there was like they're
Son
having
of Sam was around this time too. I think.
they were having like covens in their basements and stuff. Like it was real crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like for the record, 99% of it wasn't real. It was just a
Yeah.
hysteria, and we see this same thing happen with, like Pat was saying, heavy metal music. We see it with video games. We'll see it with something else in the future, and by that point, all three of us will be so old we might even fall for it at that point. But we might be lashing out at some silly thing that isn't a real threat. Who knows? But yeah, these things come and they go. It's in cycles. But what he does is Gary Gygax asks, "Hey, just write in if you're just a person, and we want to maybe collate some sort of you know I don't know, list of letters from people that they could hand off and say, look, this is a teacher from Des Moines, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
This is a scientist from wherever. This is perfectly rational people doing a perfectly reasonable hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just you could tell that there is definite pressure going on though, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
That was me, right? Yeah.
That was you. Okay, so then I'm going to, following the format, if it's not Rob, then it's got to be young Pat. So what's your first article?
All right. So we are going to divide this page in half and go to page 6.
Oh
I'm
no,
so confused.
6.
And then we're going to look at the little small blurb from Gary Gygax
Oh, but the movie.
calling out to help greenlight a film a la Deadpool without any leaked footage. Honestly, if he had leaked some footage, well, this is before the internet though. So
Yeah.
if there was a way to leak any kind of thing, like stills in a
Stills,
magazine,
yeah.
he might have gotten some traction then.
Yeah, he's pretty much like, we have it written. We just nobody wants to buy it from us.
Yeah, everyone in Hollywood's like, this is just a fad, or this your numbers are inflated. These many people cannot be playing this game.
So he wants I think once again he wants a letter writing campaign, doesn't he? This one.
Yeah.
That's the see. We've gotten both of my articles because I had a nice through line in that the fact that he asks if you would be interested in a D&D movie, which most people who don't know that Jeremy Irons is going to be chewing up scenery in another
And the Wayans
decade.
brothers will be in it.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the Wayans brothers would be, yeah. God, that one was so
Not even
bad.
the good Wayans brother.
Before
There's a
they,
good one.
yeah, there's Marlon might not be,
I like Damon. I'm not gonna lie. I
I
like
was gonna
Damon.
say.
yeah.
And Keenan made I'm Going to Get You Sucker, which is probably one of the funniest movies I ever saw.
Marlon
I
is not in
love
that list
that
though, is he?
He's in that movie though.
I know. Yeah.
I love that movie. Yeah, and no one under 40 knows who any of those people are, but
Yeah.
yes, but the through line is that he's asking kind of, hey, we want to apply some pressure to the studios who aren't.
I think,
Who
and
don't believe us.
rightfully so, because at this point, there were a lot of people playing D&D. They could have done it, but I think
Yeah,
what you need to
especially
do
the
to get
movies
the,
back then being produced, like there was some
yeah,
crap.
I think what you needed to do is produce some kind of still, even if you had to just hire a guy and take camera shots, and
I'm sure they had that. Like it's just I don't know.
you could have excited a lot more people into writing letters.
Or he just maybe he himself has been turning off actual buyers because they had Conan movies, they had tons of fantasy movies out there. I'm amazed there's not, it's
Yeah, but
there.
they were all like sword and sorcery, that 3-bladed one, and Conan was probably the best of the
Krull?
ones that were coming out that
That 3-bladed one. You mean the one where he shoots the blades
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of
that
his
was
sword?
sword and
Dragon,
sorcery.
Dragon
Sword and sorcery.
Master or something?
No, sword and sorcery.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
You know,
tons.
and
tons.
I even loved it. Beastmaster, I love Beastmaster, but still,
course.
it was still campy. And
I wouldn't say the Conan movies are campy though.
no, I said out of all of them, Conan was probably
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
They proved that they could do it serious too.
yeah.
So. I don't think Krull was campy, was it?
Oh, it was pretty campy.
Hmm.
Come on, you gotta.
Have you go back and watch it again? I mean, even to a certain point, the Frank or not the who did the Dune with
Dune?
yeah, who did Dune
David Lynch?
back in the 80s? Even the Lynch Dune is a bit campy now if you go back and watch
How
it.
dare you?
Well, I recently watched Kroll within the last couple
Krull.
of years, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, I love Krull. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but Jack, you like Zardoz.
Dark Crystal is my jam. I know, but
Oh, I love Dark Crystal though.
and you know what? I think if anyone's sitting and watching this, they're in this. They know exactly what we're talking about. They know the movies. They love them
If
the
not,
same
you
way
should
we do.
search these movies out because they're
I love all those
seminal.
80s, even the sci-fi ones
Oh,
were like
there's
Ice Pirates and
there's a few documentaries that have come out lately about all the '80s VHS movies, kind of like the history of them all, and they're great because they go through every like single movie, and it's real fun. I can't remember what they're called.
okay.
Search.
Well,
There you go.
that's it.
Okay,
Get a
so
D&D film.
yes, which it took 30 years for a good one to come out, but
Pass,
Passable one.
I'd
How's
say
that?
passable. Passable.
Yeah, it was that right. Is that
if I laughed out loud twice during the movie,
I
that's
laughed once.
by today's standards, that's a winner by my.
I
in
laughed
my
out a
book.
couple times, and then I was like,
Groaned a
"What?"
lot more.
I WTF'd one part.
Oh, well, we're not doing a movie review show, although we should because both my articles are gone now. So
Well, we got
Are you
lots still.
serious?
I'm gonna have to abstain and then pass it back to Rob for if you've got another article.
I got lots of articles.
Lot.
I can't believe all your articles are gone.
Well, I thought I was going to be clever. I took two little smidgens of articles that were tucked away, and I thought, a through line. It's Gary Gaga asking, doing a call to action. That's a clever little thing I'm going to do. And
I have a few. I think I'll go with this.
choose one and let's do it.
I thought I was going to do this one. I'll do this one right now because it's. I go on. I have a whole thing about this one. It's the page 26, and
Oh,
I pronounce Aishin good. I don't know what that
I
means.
thought pronunciation good.
Anyways, this person is terrible at pronouncing words. I'm not great either. But it's Frank Metzer, who's big in the whole D&D world. He's like one of the. I think isn't he the like co-creator at this point? But he's how to pronounce words. But I go through the whole list. He has like a list here of how to pronounce everything. And I was like, no, I'm right. He is wrong. So I went on the internet to make sure I was right and he was wrong. There's quite a few that are wrong. First of all, in the C's, it says cerebus, but cerebus isn't cerebrus, the three-headed dog. That is the talking aardvark from the comic books. There's no monsters, nothing else. The only thing they always spelled that way is the talking aardvark from the comic books. So I don't know. That was just a misprint, I guess. He just spelt cerebrus wrong.
I think there's a few misprints in here because I was like, why is it pronounced like that? And I was like, I think the bullet was spelt wrong and some other things. And I'm like, did I take crazy pills?
There's another one. For chaos, it says chaos. Like even his pronunciations, you don't say chaos, you say chaos.
You say chaos if you're from New
Chaos.
York.
Yeah, is he saying it with an accent?
It's all that chaos going on over there down in Brooklyn,
I'm the new comptroller and down here in Long Island.
The other one's another C is chimera or chimera, however you want to say it. But he has like Kumaru. Who says Kimaru for chimera or chimera? Nobody says that. I looked it up. Nobody says it that. Debbie Gorgon, I think, is another one he has it all messed up with. Demogorgon. But yeah.
I actually thought that Jack would have taken this because it was a pronunciation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I do have special mentions, page 26, and I was thinking about doing it, but it would literally just be doing what Rob's doing, going,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
got
I looked at some like the Rakshaza because I was like, okay, I used to say Rakshaza all the time, and then Pat said it a different way, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. He knew someone from the culture, and
That's the thing.
I looked and said, oh, okay, he got that one right. So then I started looking at some other ones. I was like, oh,
Kraken's another one. Who says Kraken? Who says Kraken for Kraken? Nobody.
So someone from Wisconsin.
It's like
a
the
Kraken.
My last one's I only go to the here is because of Caius, the band Caius, and I looked it up. This is how you say Caius is Caius, but he says Kios. It's like Kios. No, it's Caius.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm enough for that. I only went to that far. I could have kept going, but I didn't. I saved you more people. I was just like, how is this guy so wrong about all these words? But I enjoyed
Well,
reading through them all. He made me
the
read through them all.
automated the automated AI DJ on Spotify pronounces Caius as Kiss. So
Does
I
it?
hear him talking. He says, "Coming up for some song from you've listened to in the last couple of years. Here's Kiss." I'm like, I don't listen to Kiss. That's Oh,
It's
and I hear
Caius.
Josh Homme starting to play. Oh, okay, okay.
That's funny. I never even thought to say kiss. So that's my article. I'm just mad that this guy doesn't know how to pronunciate things.
You'd think he'd be the foremost expert, but
I don't know. It's
clearly
weird.
not. Okay. So, Pat, do you have another article?
I do. Page 14.
Ooh.
The making of a milieu.
Milieu.
It's a big giant essay on how to keep your RPG world running.
Yeah.
Postulates there are two types of good GMs. He calls them the manager, and then he calls the other one the designer. And the managers are the ones who are able to juggle a lot of things and keep everything moving, despite he called what the shallowness of the world design. And then you got the designers who spend all their time building things.
Jack is a designer. I'm a manager.
I'm a manager also.
Jack is a designer. Jack has a game that we've played like hardly any of like 1% of this world that he's written.
Probably yeah, not even 1%.
But he does say the designer has tons of detail built into the world that even when you're in it, it's a joy to be in because there's so much robust
You definitely
stuff.
feel like it's a real world because you're just like things are happening. You're like, is that supposed to be important? No, it's just happening in the background.
And then I guess the article also then starts with the creation of a campaign and goes on through where you start and how you end. And this, I feel like when I was reading it, I go, this is basically how I create a campaign. I feel like how everyone else would start to create a campaign.
Once again, this is
So
early on, right? Like how many
yeah,
campaigns are actually happening, right? So it's still not that
so
early on. Now. We're 10 years
no,
in, so
yeah, I think we're like Dragonlance
middle
is already
school.
coming out.
We're middle school right
Dragonlance
now.
coming out. Forgotten Realms is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Greyhawk's already out. So I feel like people are at this point starting to make their own campaigns now,
Yeah.
which might be
Yeah.
why it prompted this to maybe put some people who are having a hard time or are not good at managing and not good at designing and maybe saying, well, either pick one or the other.
I'm sure there's people even at this point that just playing the modules. Like they don't go outside the
Mm-hmm.
modules; they just play the modules, right? So
Yeah.
like
And there are pre-built worlds. Like, so if you have imagination and you're like, oh, I'd like to do this, well, you just in your Greyhawk setting, you just add that crypt or whatever, or you add that
well, I
flavor.
think they said Greyhawk specifically had spots they didn't describe so that you could add your own stuff.
Yeah.
So
And that's the one thing I did like about Greyhawk.
so to for Arthur Collins to say, hey, you when you design your own world, you can, and when you do this, you can, and highlight it. Maybe some people are like, oh, well, maybe I can
Yeah,
just make a.
some people need permission almost to do things like that where they don't it doesn't come to their mind and they're like, oh my god, of course I'm doing that. But some people are like, I never even thought I could do this, like it.
Yeah. And then he finishes the article off. Once you get your world built and ready to go, now it's time to put your party into it.
Now you destroy it and start from scratch because that's what good writers do.
You put them in there and you kill them.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
it was a good one, yeah, for sure. If you're like you say, it's almost you just do it automatically now, but at the time I'm sure it was a little less ingrained in people.
I mean, and I feel like some of these articles, especially in the 80s now when they're telling people how to kind of create your own things using D&D, is where we are now for any kind of role-playing game at this point.
Yep. There you go.
So that's it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, then that should be the end of articles.
Mm-mm.
We have to
Rob's
make
only
up
got
for
one.
you. You haven't done any articles.
Yeah, so we guys have to take one more each to carry your slack.
Or at least a few more each. Because I have
That's
more than
mathematically that does not work. To put up no, that's not how that works.
Listen,
Okay,
you
Rob,
said two articles and you contributed 0. So
I
that means
know.
one
I
more for Rob and one more for myself.
blame the victim. My articles were stolen. Yet we're
So,
gonna blame. I left the cash register unattended, and the crackhead took the money. I understand. So Rob, then what? Where are we going next?
73. We'll go to the Marvel file. It's got more Avengers. We got Mockingbird. Ooh,
no,
classic.
Bobby.
Bobby Morse. And the Shroud. Anybody remember Shroud? I don't remember this guy.
I do remember the Shroud.
I don't remember him at all.
He was supposed to be like a Batman
Yeah.
before. I think, in addition to Moon Knight, he was because while Moon Knight was white, he's supposed to be the dark guy.
I've never heard of him.
Oh,
Never remember him. So I don't think he lasted long. I'm amazed he hasn't had a resurgence.
I think he was part of the Avengers for a
Well,
while.
it is under the Avengers. This is the
Oh,
Avengers, supposedly.
oh, is this Avengers?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Avengers.
but I
Yeah, I thought
was
he was part of the Avengers for a little bit.
Don't remember him.
not from the late '80s through to the mid '90s because I got them all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember him. But that was just
West Coast, Avengers, Great Lakes.
oh, I thought you were just shouting out the West Coast. West Side.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was just a quick one just to ask if you guys remember Shroud. I got more.
No.
So you want me to just jump to my next one too?
Oh, I have one more.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, but I
let
got a lot.
Pat,
It's
oh,
not
so you're
quick
gonna
one.
do two, and then
All
he's
right, do
gonna
one
do
more quick one, then I'll
Yeah.
knock mine out, and then you can just roll right through all yours.
But it's this is, I don't know if you were going to count this in ad, Jack, but it's coming attractions on page 34. Were you counting this as ads?
Well, it's too late now to ask me my opinion
No,
about
but
anything. I'm being steamrolled.
if you are counting as ads, I won't even talk about this. We'll go to it later.
No, this seems like a
Well, I'm amazed you didn't choose it then, because Cat's Paw is an Alpha Flight module for Marvel superheroes. And as the Alpha Flight fan here, I am disappointed that you haven't brought this up. But Alpha Flight, before like some of these other major things, Alpha Flight, they must have been pretty popular in the 80s.
yeah. I
Alpha Light was pretty popular in the
It's
80s.
weird.
honestly, when I looked this over, I didn't see that there was Alpha Flight. I've never even heard of. I'm gonna have to.
It's a module for Marvel superheroes, Cat's Paw. It's yeah. They
This
don't
is-
say you have to read it because it doesn't say Alpha Flight, and the picture's
No,
not very
but-
good, so you can barely tell it's them. But
I can see Snowbird on the front, and I can see the
Sasquatch
Sasquatch in
and
behind.
Aurora.
Yeah, I can Aurora. Like it was there.
Oh.
My peepers failed me.
I
Is
just
that a
noticed.
typo?
Yeah, there's a typo. It says Sasquatch pluck.
Yeah,
It
I was
says
just gonna
pluck.
say
His name wasn't Pluck.
I was just
Start
gonna-
Andy, he makes fun of his name.
because you were saying I was gonna make a comment because you said Alpha Flight must have been popular in the 80s. I go Alpha Flight was pretty popular and is the only States guy here. I remember Sasquatch and Puck
Not
being
pluck.
very, very popular in this, amongst the comic book guys. I don't know about this Pluck guy. I don't know if that's his Canadian
trademarked,
name or
too.
what. Is that his trade? Is that his
You don't want
Canadian
you
name?
don't want pluck near Snowbird. That's all I'm saying. Oh man. Anyways,
Well-
yeah. So that was my two quick ones. Anyways, because I just wanted to bring up Alpha Flight.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. If it's more than 9 but under 90,
I do have. I think Marvel Superheroes kind of lapsed into free online. Like it's not even like illegally free online. Like they just released it all. So I'm pretty sure I have all the modules. So Jack, if you want to check out Cat's Paw, I can always send you the link. There you go.
put it in the show notes.
I'll put it in the show notes.
We can all see.
I do think that Jack would like to have a hard copy, though. I just feel like Jack would
Wow.
love to have an Alpha Flight hard
Mm.
copy.
Yeah, he probably would.
If it's more than 9 and less than 99.
Yeah,
Alpha
I'm
Flight's popular,
famously
it seems.
down. I'm down for a good pluck. Okay, so Pat.
All right, for my last article, we're going to go to 20 because we can't pass these up. We listened through
Oh, yeah.
years and years of Dragon Rumbles.
This is the
Now-
weirdest picture I've ever seen.
Have you never seen the Eye of the Deep before?
Yeah, but this picture, it looks like somebody. It looks like a beholder dressed up as somebody else.
Yeah,
It-
but I
it
think
looks
this is
like
the
a
picture.
beholder in a
This,
costume.
I think is this the picture out of the Monster Manual,
I
or
don't
is
remember.
it? Yeah. But this is the Eye of the Deep, which is another. It's of course another, as I'm gonna playfully call another Edicology.
Eddie College, yo.
Edicology.
Oh, I see what you did
That's
there.
very punny.
It's an Ed Greenwood ecology,
Mhm.
Edicology.
So this one is saying It's related to the beholder, and it kind of
Obviously.
leads to saying, well, it says that they were the same creature in the way back, and then evolved differently.
Makes sense.
Uh, the Eyes of Deeps is, which I thought was weird. Why you put this in? Are bisexual.
Some things you have to know.
I guess. But then the eggs are laid in currents through these tentacles, and they live up to 2 months. So when the male eye of the deep goes by and sees the eggs, he goes, "Oh, I'm going to fertilize those." Is basically how that's how they do. But what the biggest difference between the eye deep and the beholder is that the eye deep relies on illusions, and it has to
he
have
just
both its
doesn't
eye
kill. He doesn't
stalks.
have to murder you outright. He just does
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't
He has to do it sneakily.
because it wants to eat you. It wants to eat you whole. Where
Not.
I
He
think
doesn't
the
want to just disintegrate you, so there's nothing left.
yeah, what the eye beholder just is. I think the eye deep is all about hunting,
It's a
whereas the
friendly
beholder is
version.
about 100% destruction.
Yeah.
But it one of the cool thing I thought was saying is that it has to have both eye stalks intact in order to make a clear illusion. So I'm thinking if it only has one eye
Oh,
stack,
that's pretty funny.
you see like a staticky TV illusion.
Or it's like one eye shut, so it's like yeah,
Yeah, but then it uses its big eye to stun you, and
eats you
then it
with
eats
those
you.
beautiful teeth
Yes.
and crab claws. I bet that's tasty.
Mm,
Imagine tasting an
I
eye
don't
of
know.
deep.
It
I
depends.
think Ed was, onto the fact that now we know that most things try to evolve towards a crustacean.
Yeah,
Um, it's just a fact that marine animals all try and become crustaceans, and most
it's a
mammals
fact.
try to become wolves. That's science. So maybe he just knew that the beholder would want to have chitinous armor and go good with melted butter.
Mm.
Mm,
You can't pass it up. It's all you
I'm
can eat at
hungry.
Red Lobster. Here's the all you can eat eye of the deep at Red Lobster.
You get the those
Yeah,
big bone
giant
crackers.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but that is the last of my articles.
Okay. So Rob, you one more, two more,
Well, I think one more.
one more. Okay. I'll permit one more.
Well, we have to. This is a continuing story. That's why you have to keep this one going. Page 8
Oh,
in the forums. More talk about evil
Oh,
PCs and falling damage, but this time, someone thinks of a chart for percentage life done by fall. Exactly what we were talking about last time.
oh yeah, I read this too. I was like, Jesus.
It's like, yeah, perfect. This is what we want.
the whole thing fits on a you
It's
could
literally two columns. If
and
you
and
make a
it
save,
makes
if you don't make a
perfect
save,
sense.
it makes perfect sense. No math. You just look. Oh, how far did I fall? Oh, I can lose this much hit points. Just percentage of hit points. This is
But
if you're
it
under
says that you
five, you're
could.
knocked out.
It
One
says you.
percent.
It says you could die 1% of the time
You know, if you
from a
fall
10
10
foot
feet, you
fall.
could fall. I've heard about people falling off a fence and dying. So,
People slip in the bathtub and just
hmm
wall up their head and be done.
but yeah. Well, I just like the chance at 100 feet, you still have a good chance of surviving, which is nice. Uh,
100 feet is pretty
ridiculous.
high.
Yeah, it is pretty high. But there have been guys who survived
Oh
the
yeah.
fall off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That recently somebody just did.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
that Polish. She was a flight attendant, I believe, fell out of an airplane and survived.
Mm,
Got sucked out of an airplane and
crazy.
fell, God knows how long. Not the way I want to go.
Mm-mm.
No.
Did you hear about the?
Okay.
I think the plane crash. It was in. I think this was this the one that was near you, Pat. No, I think this was in Florida. The plane crashed and there was a few like a lot of people died, but the one person woke up in the Everglades, totally naked, in their still strapped to their seat. Somehow all their clothes get ripped, sucked off them, and they just sit in the Everglades, no plane around them, sitting in the seat in the Everglades, naked. Like what the
I'm
fuck?
surprised the Gator didn't get him.
Well, I think that was an issue afterwards, but yeah, I just love that story because I'm like, how the fuck does he? You wake up from like getting knocked out from a plane crash, and you wake up.
Maybe she was wearing a maybe she was wearing it was a girl and she was wearing a sundress and it just came right off.
I can't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but I was just like, what the chance of that?
Yeah, and
Anyways,
you're saying that. Imagine what they were thinking.
yeah, exactly. But
What?
well, you're alive, I guess. You got that going for you.
No, which is nice.
Yeah. That's all my
Okay.
articles. I'm done. I got some ads though.
Well then, how about we
Right.
bop over to Pat? You do your ad, then we'll hit Rob, and we'll get back to me. We'll
I have a
finish up with
feeling
me. We'll get
we'll
out
have
of
some
here.
overlap here. So
I do have some overlap. I have
Oh, you
two
think so?
pens. And let's go to page 9, the next page over.
I didn't have to do anything. I
Okay.
knew you were going to choose this one.
And Conquest of the Empire. This is the third release of the Game Mary
Never
series
played this
by
one.
Milton Bradley. Once again, I have this game and I do enjoy it. Did enjoy it. Based in the Roman Empire kind of thing. So Carthage, Rome, I figured Egypt. Who else is the factions? I can't even remember all the factions. But it's definitely a conquest game. Didn't take as long as X and Allies.
Well, nothing
And
does.
if you didn't build roads, you were pretty much toast.
All roads lead to Rome.
Yep.
I saw a modern
So-
map. I'm like a Segway guy, but I saw a modern map, and it's literally, if you look at all the maps in Europe, they all lead to Rome, like to this day.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
So again, I thought Milton Bradley hit out of the park with these games. I mean, they're tried and true and tested, but very old.
Well, yeah, it's a classic. What are they?
Yeah.
Strategy games. Strategy.
It just looking at the board, never played the game, don't know anything about it, but it does have a kind of like a the economics resource games of that they love in Europe to this day. It does have that kind of look. I can see an aqueduct, I can see a
Well, that aqueduct's actually the road.
okay, I can see these things that it kind of looks like it might
Is it?
like people would play today.
Yeah. Is it? What's it called? Is it like more like Risk, or is it actual? You have to have resources.
You have to have resources. It's like one of the first 4X games out. I remember playing as a little kid. So, yeah, I mean resources, city management, like I said, road building.
Right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean,
Right
I
up
do think
your
these
alley.
games are a little ahead of their time. I think,
Well,
Well,
or not as complicated as the Mayfair games or any of the.
but I think it does
The
represent,
shelf
like
games.
Jack said, the future of board games is kind of.
But yeah, but it's not as simple as say Risk and everything. So it was
Yeah.
a nice happy medium that
Stratego.
the hard versus the hardcore, where you meld the hardcore versus the casual gamer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I think it
that's
was
probably
a
why
very
it's
good
a
move.
happy. Yeah, like for us, it was one of our gateway. Axe and Allies was our gateway board game, probably. Like playing that early on. So, other than like shitty board games like Life or Monopoly. Or something like
Stratego, I played the hell out of
that.
that.
Risk. I played the hell out of Risk.
I'd still play that. Okay, well then, Rob, you got you
Sure.
got an ad. You've been claiming that there's gonna be some overlap.
Well, because I
Let's
thought
see.
Pat might have chose this one, page 31.
31.
Ralpartha, 20th Century
That's
Plus,
mine.
sculpted by Bob Charret. Battle Droids. It's the first BattleTech minis in the magazine.
Oh, I didn't see this.
I thought I was gonna get away with
Yeah, I made
scooping you.
You should have gone next. You could have taken this.
No, because I'm not hurtful. The
Yes, you
joy
are.
in your heart,
You are
the joy in
hurtful.
your heart.
I stole Alpha Flight
No.
from you. I thought for sure you're gonna steal this from me.
Yeah, by rights I should have, but
That's right. This
no.
is Battle Droids, not Battle Tech
Yeah,
yet.
they haven't been sued by Lucasfilm yet, and yeah, so not even BattleTech's coming out yet. Coming January 1985. It doesn't. It's Battle Droids is like so far just a name for their miniatures, but it's a game behind this. So we're gonna see BattleTech soon. I also do like the Bear Chariot of the Ice Maids. That's a freaking nice little mini up there.
Mine's
I
not a very good
wish you
picture.
could really see
Yeah.
what it
Maybe
looked like.
maybe the silhouette is like what I think it looks like. It looks a lot better than what it actually looks like, but it looks pretty cool. It would fit right into my Northern Alliance army.
Actually, it would though because that is a kind of a cool. It's not a very Viking-looking sled.
It's kind of Northern Alliance has elves in it though too.
Yeah, but it definitely's got an elfish.
Yeah. It definitely looks elfish to me.
Yeah, that it does look like Viking by the way of say elves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you were going to go that far, you could even go as the Aesir, the gods' chariot kind of look.
But chariot being pulled by bears, that's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet.
But so we got battle droids and we got that. I do love how bad these minis look. Well, the gladiator doesn't look bad, but the battle axe, man, what's he doing with his arms? They are
Come
pewter
at me,
though.
bro.
They are pewter. You can just bend them in the way you want them, but it's just an odd. Maybe that's how they come out of the mold because they're flat.
It's a stone axe.
Oh,
It's
It's
an
very
ogre
flat.
with a stone axe.
These are
yeah, you're probably right. By today's standards, the guns would be facing forward. It would look as though it was like walking forward with the
Yeah.
guns forward.
Right now, it looks like he's trying to puff out his mechanical
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah,
I'm a tough robot.
battle axe is
He-
very Warhammer, like the Warhammer mech. If you actually put the guns in the right spot. But anyways, yeah, that was my first ad.
perfect. Okay, well, since 31 was mine,
We've stolen every.
I'm
You've
sorry,
had
people.
nothing.
I wish, yeah,
That's hilarious.
my generosity. I let these guys go first, and I've been pilfered.
we yoinked every single one of yours.
Well,
No,
see, Jack, I didn't even say this first because I thought this one was going to be yours.
oh,
If it comes, are we back to me?
yes.
I really thought you would have grabbed this one. I still took it, but I was going to say it last in case you wanted it. On page 75.
The Palladium ones.
Yeah, the Palladium Book of Exotic Weapons.
We definitely. Somebody had this book because I remember looking through this book.
Yeah, my cousin had this book, and we used it as references. Like when we looked at the player's handbook, like what the hell is that?
I remember
What's
the
this book?
maces with the knives in their hands. I remember those for sure.
Yeah, what is? We were like, what is a bardiche?
Yeah.
What the hell's a bardiche? We looked through here. Oh, it's just like a pole arm.
Yeah.
So it was a good reference, and for $6, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that it for everyone's added
Nope,
out?
I have another
Everyone's
ad.
got other system. Wow.
Because this one, I have no attachment to it. I just was amazed how nice these ads looked. It's on. I think the first one's on page 37. It's the Twilight 2000 ads.
Yeah, I
full
saw these
color.
too.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful ads, and there's another one later that's like full page, full color ad of
Yeah.
characters, and I was just like,
This game is still out there. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
GDW anymore, but
yeah, I don't know. But
I still see
definitely around.
Twilight 2000 boxes at a lot of the smaller shows, like those independent guys or the historical guys.
Yeah, it's a World War III kind of post-apocalyptic Red Dawn kind of game. But yeah.
It was never like the most popular, but it was always in the air. Like I knew people who played it religiously.
And I like how it's your equipment was brand new in 1995. But it's three
definitely-
full pages of full color ads. So I was like,
Yeah.
geez, these guys came on hot and heavy.
Yeah, they did. GDW though, who
Traveler.
ends up buying GDW? Is it still around?
Well, I think GDW might be still around. Traveler's still around, so I don't know who owns it now.
But that's the end of the ads. So where do we go from here, Jack?
Well, normally this is
Oh, no,
where
it's
we start bidding adieu. We've
GDW
done
went
our
out
due
of business
diligence.
in '96. GDW went out
Mm.
of business.
Oh, 96. So when I did my
So I wonder,
basic training.
I wonder who does Traveler now. Let's look. Traveler is by something called Far Future Enterprises. Let's see what Twilight 2000 is by. Twilight 2000 is currently published by Free League. Free League does it.
Oh,
Free Liga. That's why we see it everywhere. They're a big company.
Snazzy.
Sorry to interrupt. We had a question. I had to answer it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, we would have left. We would have signed off, and the audience
Yeah.
would have been, like,
I was trying to get Jack to vamp a little.
What do we do now?
He was vamping. I
I'm-
just interrupted him. Like now.
Incomplete. Yeah. Thanks for vamping, but I'm done now. Okay. Well then, yes. This has been episode 93, issue 93. I think we've covered it pretty thoroughly. I want to thank everyone for following along with us.
I think I'm gonna thank everybody for following my directions.
Yes. Usually when I say north than south, but I give every once in a while I'll give like a by the old church that used to be there. That's how I roll. No, thank you for following along with us, and come back next week. We're gonna do this all over again, and we're gonna keep doing this for another I think it's like a 33 more episodes. So for us at the Dragon's Tome,
Add a 0 to that. You
I've
might be
been Jack.
close.
And I've been Chopper.
I'm Rob. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you guys later.
Why is that your character?